Hello, hello, teachers. Welcome to this tutorial series. It's called Creating MCQs. There's going to be about 3 to 4 parts of this topic, and I've pegged it with relevance to CBSE class 9 to 12, right? This is the first part, an introduction. It's important to lay down the base or the foundation before we start building. So the paper design of 2020-21 has seen a change, right? It definitely shows a fair amount of difference from the paper of the previous years. So it has been divided into part A and part B. All right. Now the part A is what we are sort of focusing on in this particular series, because part A is the part that has MCQs, okay? So 50% of the paper, which is divided into part A and 50% in part B. So 50% is multiple choice questions and part B is what contains the subjective type questions. Now, the reason why there are 50% of the paper has MCQs is because CBSE believes that inference, analytical thinking, critical thinking are going to sort of, play a large part in times to come. In any case, they are 21st century skills. So MCQs are a great way of testing higher order thinking skills or focusing on higher order thinking skills, right? So like I said, CBSE recommends inferential questions. What do we mean by inferential questions? These are questions that stem out of critical thinking. And if I were to go on to explain, it simply means that the answer cannot just be picked out of the text and just vomited out onto the sheet. The child will have to look at the hints and clues in the text and then probably work out the answer. So the process of thinking, analysis, interpretation, inference, evaluation, all that comes into play, right? Without further ado, let's go on to what else is involved in creating the MCQs in terms of an introduction, okay? So we need to remember that the syllabus document gives us these competencies, question-wise, and it has been separately listed as well. Let me show you, okay? So if you were to look at class 10 syllabus document, it would reveal the following. Right? You can see that these are the sections, these are the competencies. And if you look at the competencies, this reading is from part A. Literature, a part of literature is also from part A. So aside of comprehension, you can see analyzing, inferring, interpreting, and even vocabulary has to be inferred. Same goes for literature. Aside of recalling, you will see reasoning and applying, justifying. So it all boils down to your HOTS, okay? And we have the same set of competencies for English core as well. So you have the same set of competencies listed here as well, right? Let's proceed now to the advantages and disadvantages of the multiple choice questions. It's very important that you know this so that you are convinced about these being present in the paper, okay? So look at the advantages, okay? The world thinks so, all right? They are versatile at all levels. You could do an MCQ with a class 3 child or a class 12 child. There is minimum writing for student, they just have to identify. And the guessing is reduced. If they are good MCQs, the guesswork is near minimum or none at all, okay? And they can cover a broad range of content. So it's not like they have just, they are testing the child's comprehension on one particular chunk. It can span right across, and it's ideal, like I mentioned, for HOTS, right? The disadvantages are a few, but they're important. They're difficult to construct good test items. So you need trained people to do it. And I'm very, very hopeful that as the months pass, there are a lot of teachers who are going to sort of get comfortable with it, get adept with this, and it's all going to be fine, right? Please remember, there are no shortcuts to this. You will have to sort of create and learn as you go along, right? And it's difficult to come up with plausible distractors or alternative responses. This is about the choices. We are going to do this in detail in a while, right? Once we are through with each other, and I'm sure you'll be in a good space to create some of your own, right? Let's also talk about some examples here so that you understand what I'm going to, the different parts of an MCQ. This is from class 10, the 100 dresses. The teacher refers to Wanda's designs as exquisite because each one A, B, C, D. So this is not about me checking your comprehension or whether you get the right answer or not. This is about me telling you that this is what we call the stem, the top part of the question. This is what we refer to as a stem. And then A, B, C, D are the options. Please remember in the sample paper put up by the CBSE, the options are A, B, C, D. The answer options are A, B, C, D. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's A, B, C, D, right? And this would be the key since this is the answer, okay? Because each one of the 100 designs was different, okay? It's not this, this, or this, it's A, okay? Now, what are B, C, and D called? B, C, and D are called distractors, which is why I was telling you earlier, it's difficult to create plausible distractors. Distractors are options that are close to the key, but not quite the key, right? You cannot just have random distractors, otherwise it's very easy to pick out the key, and we are not promoting guesswork, all right? So once again, the multiple choice questions, you have the stem, you have the options, you have the key, and you have the distractors, right? So let's look at this example again, and let me show you the two kinds of multiple choice questions that we are looking to see in the paper. The teacher refers to, etc., etc. So you have the stem and you have the options, okay? You have the stem and you have the options. So, and then look at this one, okay? Let me just remove this for you. Yeah, then look at this one. So you have the stem. Choose the option that correctly lists what the teacher meant when she referred to Wanda's designs as exquisite. And you have some options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have the answer options, which give you a combo of what is given in the question. So you have the stem, you have some choices, and then you have the options listing the choices. Okay, so now there are two different kinds of MCQs here, So these are the answers, just in case you're wondering. This is what we call the simple MCQ, all right? You have the stem and you have the options. And this is what we call the multiple MCQ, because you have a hit here with some choices, and then you have the options with the distractor and the key, right? So that is something that is important for you to remember as an introduction. All right. So what did we do in the introductory part here today? We talked about the focus on inferential questions, which means we are looking at competencies of analysis, the levels, evaluation, and interpretation, amongst others. We are talking about the competencies that are listed in the syllabus document. If you were to go back to your syllabus document and have a look, each question, especially in part B, has listed these competencies. Otherwise, I showed you the grid in which competencies were listed. MCQs have several advantages and are ideal for HOTS. We need to remember these advantages because it's going to inspire us to go on, no matter how difficult it might be for us. And then an MCQ has a stem and options, okay? Stem and options, and the options have key and the distractors, all right? And the MCQ can either be a simple or a multiple MCQ. So with that, I think we are done with part 1. Please don't forget to join us for part 2. I'm going to start talking about the do's and don'ts, and then we are going to get our hands dirty and move into creating the MCQs, right? So that's all from my end. Stay safe, stay empowered, keep rocking. Thank you very much.